We out here beyond the scare. I'm part of your host for this podcast. My name is Danny Royce. I'm joined by my bro. What's good, Pauly?
Going on, everybody?
Yes, and we are back again. Thank you so much for tuning in. As your favorite scare experts, we dive into all things horror. And I want to say before we get started, please go ahead and subscribe, follow us on Instagram, and be sure to not miss one of our scare sods. Check out our past ones. And that brings us today. We are extremely excited for this episode. Highly anticipated, long awaited. Okay. We're gonna dive into a series that a franchise that we both love, know and love. We're so excited to see this one, and we finally saw it. We're gonna break it down today. And we're talking about I Know What You Did Last Summer. We got a lot to discuss, a lot to dive into. Paul, let's get into
All
it.
right, let's dive right in. All right, so I Know What You Did Last Summer was released Friday, July 18th. And boy, we're excited to get into this. Okay, so now
Yes,
again, the original I Know What You Did Last Summer was released in 1997. The sequel, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, was released in 1998. And the third
yes.
installment, I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer, was released in 2006. As we discussed in our previous episode, the third installment is, in our opinion, a hot mess. You honestly do not have to watch it.
And that's
Um,
saying lightly.
it takes a weird supernatural approach to the franchise, and it just doesn't work out.
Yeah.
But the latest installment in the I Know What You Did Last Summer universe was the Prime TV series of the same
Hmm.
name. I Know What You Did Last Summer. Now it had some decent moments, I will admit, but it just not. I felt it didn't work. There were too many elements that they're trying to, bring into supernatural element, the Pretty Little Liars element, the cult element. They're just doing too much because, I mean, as Danny said last episode, it's kind of difficult to make this TV series, this story TV series. So they're trying to put in too much to keep it going, and ultimately it ended. Anyway, here we are, the reboot starring one of our favorite final girls and final guys, Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr., reprising their role as Julie James and Ray Bronson.
Hey,
Um,
let's go.
Also newbies to the franchise: Madeline Klein, Chase Sue Wonders, Jonah Hill King, Tyreek Withers, and Sarah Pittigan. Um, if viewers were confused as to why Lola Tong and Nicholas Alexander Chavez were not in the film, but they were credited previously,
Yeah.
it's because their parts were cut. So the director, Jennifer Robinson, indicated that their scene, which was intended to be an opening scene of the movie, did not fit with the overall tone and direction that they're trying to go through in the movie. So they ultimately cut their scene in the movie.
Yeah.
Um, so that's that. Now, just to kind of touch base on the writing, the writer, there's three writers of the film: Jennifer Caitlin Robson, who also directed the film, Sam Lansky, and Leah McKendrick. So essentially, as we already know, this movie has the same premise as the original movie. Five friends inadvertently cause a deadly car accident with help of Teddy's dad, who's one of the main characters. They cover up their involvement and make a pact to keep it a secret. 1 year later, they're stalked and subsequently attacked by a mysterious killer. All right. So that's pretty much what the movie has to do with. So I guess we'll start off with um, favorite performances. How the acting was, and I guess Danny, do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah. So I thought overall the acting was pretty fine in this one, from the beginning and to when things started getting juicy. I will say Tyreek played Teddy. He was fine. He was a good time. I was like, okay. Um, I loved his character arc. Um, I love his death was dope. There was a lot of great things. He was one of the ones that stood out for me. And then also Chase. I really enjoyed Chase as Ava. I think those two. were my faves. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. So Madeline Klein, who played Danica, like I felt like she was really fun. There were some parts, like in the, I guess the joke parts of trying to be funny that didn't land too well for me,
Right,
and I was just
right.
kind of like, eh. But for the most part, I thought she was funny. Definitely, I agree with you with Tyreek. he, he was hilarious. And it's kind of obviously, you have the counterparts in the movie, right?
Right.
Danica's supposed to be, similar to Helen.
Yeah.
Dana's supposed to be similar to Jennifer. So obviously, Teddy's supposed to be similar to a Barry in the original.
Very. Yeah.
And I saw it because Barry was funny too. Hot tempered, just like f
Hmm.
this, f that.
Right.
So I thought Tyreek's delivery was pretty good also.
Yeah,
So
that was I was thinking about that the entire time. Just comparing the characters.
exactly,
And
yeah,
I was like, okay, that's the Barry of the group. That's the Ray of the group. Okay, I
right.
get it. Like,
Right. They have to do that nostalgia, right?
yeah, it was great.
So, before we dive into it, give me your overall opinion of the film. Like, how did you leave the theater? Better yet, how did you walk into the theater, and then how did you leave?
Uh, I walked in and super excited, not knowing, or I had expectations, but not wanting to allow those expectations dictate my feelings of the film. I just wanted to like be present, enjoy it, see what they brought, to the table after so long. That's how I felt walking in. When I left, I was um I was satisfied. I felt like, okay, this is a stepping stone for even more. Um, and I was excited to see where even where they're about to take this whole franchise, you know what I mean? And we'll get into obviously specifics shortly, but yeah, I was surprised, you know. They threw me for a loop on a couple of occasions. Um, I was satisfied. I was satisfied.
Okay. So your overall
Very much,
is your
very
overall
much
opinion.
so. Stomach
Okay.
was nice and full.
You walked into the theater a little hungry, and you came
Right.
out satisfied and
Came
full.
out. I was like, I'm licking the finger. Okay.
That's
How
cool. So,
about you?
for me as well. So I walked in very excited. Obviously, in the last episode, we talked about a few concerns and stuff, which we'll get into. But
Yeah.
I walked in super excited. Um, sat down, all giddy, like let's
Okay.
go, let's go,
Yep. And our shirts.
yeah, right. And yeah, I honestly, throughout the movie, like, I mean, I enjoyed it. Like you, I left, I would say, satisfied. I was just like, and that's the biggest thing, like, kind of excited slash like concerned of where they're going to take it because my
Right.
mind goes
Yeah.
everywhere with every
There's always a
possibility.
little concern.
Yeah, what I mean, don't
You're
don't ruin this for us,
right.
that type of thing. But yeah, I agree with you with that.
Right.
So let's dive into this, Danny. So I want to start off with, you know, basically the reason that the group is involved, basically dealing with what they're dealing with, the accident,
Yeah.
right? The incident that they're
Yeah.
involved with. So obviously we have the 1997 version, and then we have here, this version. So
Hmm.
what initially did you think of this? And like, tell me everything. Tell me like, um, how did you think the acting was here, their interactions with each other, the accident itself,
Yeah.
because obviously in the original, at least for me, like I felt like the chemistry with the cast was very organic and they were just like, it was
Yeah.
just like friends just chilling. Like, I mean, everything that they said, every action that they did was just believable for me.
Hmm.
So what did you think?
Um, yeah, I enjoyed the scene. Like at first I thought, obviously we're like, okay, someone's gonna get into a car accident. They psyched us out, with him joking around. And then like they're pulled over and this whole thing of it's believable. Like I feel like Teddy just being obnoxious and so annoying. This is obviously believable. We all have friends like that, or we all people like that that we hang out with. We're just like, oh my God. And like that whole situation, swerving into that, like I liked how they put a little different little spin on it. Made the car accident not as we expected it would be. So I did enjoy that. I think I just kept saying break the window because I don't understand. I don't understand why it took, like, it just did that part. It just didn't really. It seems like, okay, we're not dumb here. Like, you guys are all adults. It's like, how do you get someone out of the car? You break the window. I don't understand that one. So that was my only issue with the whole situation. But everything else was like, yeah, it was really, really fun to watch. You can't help but compare. Like, you
It
can't help. It is what it is.
is what it is.
I felt like the chemistry was a little more flawless, obviously, in the 97 accident, as far as like what was going on and all that stuff. Um, but I liked it. What
Yeah.
about you?
Yeah, I have the same sentiment. I agree. I'm like, break the window. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Like,
and
it just didn't
dude
make
that was in
sense.
the car did it at the last minute, but like Teddy could have
He
easily
was
did
like,
it.
he's
But
like,
I
fuck
did
you.
like how they all together like were trying to stop the truck.
Right.
Even though it's like,
They're
okay,
trying
like
to
you already
hold
have
on to that truck.
right? Gravity is already like halfway having to take it, and y'all in the back just trying to pull it forward, and the girls are doing it. Like, you
The
know what I mean?
girls, though,
I'm
that
not
was just
saying
a
like
little
they
crazy
weren't
for me.
those girls weren't strong, but I'm just saying like we all saw where it was going. But
Right.
I agree with you. The um, just like yeah, like I said, the like chemistry is so organic in the 1997 version. This one was good too. I felt like I don't know. I feel that like someone would have intervened a lot sooner. I know that
Yeah.
Milo did, when he tackled Teddy out of the way, but I feel like someone would have did it a lot sooner, considering like he had been drinking. He's just standing on the open
Right.
road. The road's called Reaper's Curve for a reason, like
Yeah.
Danica pointed out. You know what I mean? So
And then why are you
obviously, like,
stopped right there in the curb?
yeah, you know what I mean, on the exactly. So I felt like that was a little unrealistic, but
Right.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
Um,
For sure.
okay. Cool. So let's go to the next part, the impact of the note. So we know that's
Yeah.
a huge part of the move of the
The
franchise in
franchise.
general.
Yeah.
The I Know What You Did Last Summer note. So what did
Hmm.
you think of that in delivery and when Danica opened the card and
The
everything?
reveal, I like the reveal of the
Did
note.
you?
I thought that was really fun. I thought Danica's reaction, everybody just like just frozen out of time. I really liked that. I thought it was a good reveal, and we got like a little version of it on the trailer that they
Yeah.
gave us.
Hmm.
But yeah, just seeing that whole scene play out and time stop, and you could hear everything, people swallowing, everything's
Yeah.
just it was intense. It was intense.
Yeah.
I like that one. What about you?
Yeah. I liked it too. I liked it a lot. And for, for me, it's like it played along with her character too. You know what I mean? It wasn't
Yeah,
out of character. She was just like,
right,
like,
exactly.
what I'm saying? Like, who did
And
this
she,
kind of joke. She's very like kind of valley girl like, and then she's like, you know,
yeah.
I,
Parts of it gave me Mean Girls, like just put this off.
yeah,
The whole time it was gonna be Mean Girls. But yeah, yeah, she played it off, and then like when she asked what did it say, like that's when she just got defensive as hell.
right,
But
exactly,
it was so
exactly.
good.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was really good. As we know in the original, Julie obviously got the letter. Which
Yeah,
is I kind of like how they switch it up because obviously Danica isn't like the Julie role of the
right.
film, so I like how they switched that up. Um, but when Julie received it, obviously she was alone, and
Hmm.
she was kind of like looking around, like, but at the same time, it was powerful. But I thought this version was like way more powerful because, like you said, the people were there and they're all just like standing there, like, what's going on?
Yeah,
So,
it was really like she was put on the scene, on the spotlight.
mhm,
Yeah, it was really good. They
yeah,
had me like drawn in, right? Yeah, that whole
yeah,
scene.
I agree. Okay, so what did you think of? Um, as I'm sorry, I have like a fierce opinion about this. So, what did you think of the fisherman and his stalking or lack thereof? Like, what did you think of that whole thing? Because as we know in the 1997 version, for me at least, I love that type of thing. And I said this before in like Scream, the original Scream. Like when the stalking aspect, that just makes you so much and more invested. I feel like in the characters, what's gonna happen, and it keeps you on the edge of your seat. And I feel
Yeah,
like that was huge in the 1997 version. You know, the cutting of
right.
Helen's hair, the stalking, the dead fisherman guy that worked on the boat inside Julie's trunk.
Yeah,
You know, all those little things that led up to July 4th when he was going to do his work. You know what I'm saying? As in
exactly.
this one, we know he started right away. So,
Right.
what did you think of that?
We're missing that aspect. And even so, like just going after, just people who are loved ones, it went so much more deeper, just like getting that person. It was like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna make you hurt, everyone around you hurt, and you know what I mean? So it was the targets were different, all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff, and you can just tell, like even the way that Fisherman kills, it's just like totally different. But all that set aside, I did want more. We got the steam room with the writing. We got a couple little things, but I definitely wanted more.
Mm-hmm.
Some more stalking, more menacing, more build up,
Yeah.
so that, and we'll get to shortly, but so that the payoff can pay off.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, as our viewers know, you know, me and you, we love a good build up. So we are
Okay,
about, you
yeah,
know,
right, that
especially with
part.
those kills, if it can build us up to it, we all about it. Um, but yeah. So obviously, I explained my opinion on that already. But I
Yeah.
agree. This one, it was more personal, which
Mhm.
obviously played that theme throughout the entirety of the movie. In the 1997 version, you know, the fisherman he just killed who was ever like there. Like you know what I mean? Like it
Right.
was like I forgot that one guy, but he worked with Ray on the fishing boat. Like he killed him.
Yeah,
You know, the guy
yeah.
that liked Julie. Like, you know,
Hmm.
just it was more random. Like if you're in my way, I'm gonna kill you. This one's more like it was kind of it wasn't as random, like because they were connected, you know, in some way
All
to like
connect,
the
yeah.
people that yeah.
It
So
was
I
like
yeah,
your husband, your boy, yeah, that was gonna make you
Teddy's
hurt.
dad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Okay,
So,
this big part right here, baby. So Danica's dream
oh my
with Sarah
gosh.
Michelle Gellar.
Yeah.
Now, I just want to say this. This is the one thing that really surprised me because for those of you out there that were following the film during its production, like Danny and I have been, Sarah Michelle Gellar, she put on her Instagram, this was a while ago, like I said, during the shooting of the movie, that she was there during the recording, right?
Yeah.
She had her chair and everything. So everybody's like, oh my gosh, she's going to be there. She's going to be in it. But then all that was kind of debunked, and she said she's not in it. Even like
Right.
the Dagger director said she's not in it. We can't bring her back. She's dead. Lo and behold,
Yeah.
in
They
the
found a
movie,
way.
Danica and Ava are in the custody room, in the interrogation room in the police department, and Danica falls asleep, and there's Sarah Michelle Gellar.
There's Sarah Michelle Gellar.
So, Danny, what did you think of that part, that scene?
I was like, wow. So, obviously she was turned away from us for a while. So I
Mm,
just seen the backside. So I'm
yeah,
just like, okay, maybe they're just gonna keep it turned around
yeah.
and then we'll phase out of this. But no, she turns around, reveals
All
dreamy like skin, porcelain.
right, just looking flawless.
I was like, oh my God, this is fucking I was like, this is crazy, but I was there for it. I was eating it all up, and all of us millennials were eating it all up. I was there for it. And it was
Right.
it was just such a interesting, but it made sense because Danica was like somewhat obsessed with Helen, right? Like
Yeah.
she was like she saw herself in it. So
She was
it
also a
made
poker
sense that
queen.
her. Right, exactly. So it makes sense that her subconscious, she would dream about it. But and I was like, it was such a great way to just put our girl SMJ in there. Like it's just like
Yeah,
I
I
loved it.
agree.
I
I
loved it.
agree. It was really cool and like it's fun. Like you said, I thought they were just. I was like, obviously, I'm like that looks like Helen. Sarah Michelle Gellar
Yeah.
said it looks like. I was like, but there's no way. So I'm like, maybe she's gonna stay. She's gonna
And they're
maybe
gonna
talk
phase
to
it
her,
out.
yeah, or
Yeah.
something like that. And then my head was like, oh, maybe that's Danica. She's gonna turn around and start talking to herself, like you need to get out of town
Right.
or something. And then it was a very pleasant surprise to see Sarah Michelle
It
Gellar.
was so good.
The only criticism I had about that scene was that I felt that they could incorporate her I don't know, her like part a little better. I felt like it was more so like menacing and like, what I mean, like death oriented and stuff. And I get it,
Mhm.
but I felt like, I don't know, I felt I wanted like a little bit like, I guess like a nicer, like a lighter side to like seeing her finally in the film. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That was kind of just my opinion because I was just like, she's like, you deserve to die.
Right.
You messed up. You did this. You did that. I'm just like, would Helen actually be saying this? Like, but and then again, maybe it's
It's,
Danica subconsciously
it's
blaming
Danica's
herself, kind of
subconscious.
like
Yeah.
what happened with Ava and
Right.
Milo in the bedroom.
Yeah. That's what I kind of took it as, like,
Yeah,
yeah, her blaming herself or subconscious. But it was also like, just my only regard would be like it was almost just borderline, just kind of getting to a little bit corny.
yeah,
Like they wanted to just bring it back just a smidge
yeah,
because you know what I mean,
yeah.
if that
I
makes sense.
No, yeah, it does. I felt like I agree with you that it was getting a little too corny, and not only that, but it was getting a little too like dark. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Because like throughout the entire movie, yeah, this is a killer and stuff, but it's still like light in a way, and that's the whole like joy
yeah,
of like this franchise. It's still like light, scary, and stuff like that, but it's like getting like really dark. Like you're in like I don't know, like a movie that's like literally like so dark it has no moments of like
right,
comic relief or anything like that. That's what's kind of
yeah,
getting to me. Like I was just like, oh,
yeah. Yeah, I was happy to see her, but I don't know. I think just a little critiques with the
yeah,
scene, but
I agree.
I would love to see her.
I agree. Um, oh yeah, so the Milo and Ava part because I kind of brought that up briefly, so I wanted to touch on that.
Oh yeah,
So when she was like choke me during their intimate scene,
yeah.
obviously punish me. Like, what did you think of that?
It was that was interesting because we they kind of built a lot of suspense obviously when he was in the car and we thought he was gonna get it right there is that type of but I was like bro if you just went ahead and just grew a pair you'd be alive right you may be alive right now.
Right. Just do it. Just do what she wants.
And I was like at first I really didn't realize it but I was like oh he left because she I was like okay it's too and then right when that happened, Brenda from Scary Movie popped in my head. Too dirty? And then he just left.
He's like talking dirty to me. She was like, oh, look, all these walls, right?
I
Too dirty. Oh, that's hilarious. I hope
was
I
like,
don't even
one of
know
them.
what we're talking about with that reference.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, that is that since you brought up the whole like Milo death scene part. That is a one death that I did not enjoy. I thought it fell
Yeah,
flat. I felt like it was boring, and I felt like if they wanted to add more suspense to it and just make it like land like better, they should have had like they should have had a camera showing Ava in that angle, and then maybe like
right.
she's doing something in the room, and then you see him struggling in the background or something like that, and like
Yeah.
she hears it and like kind of they had her look out after everything was over, but I'm just like I don't
And
know
I didn't
that.
really care. First, speaking of kills, like the first kill, I really wasn't a fan of just because it's just like it wasn't. But a lot of it wasn't believable. Like, why are you still standing there? After you took it out of your arm, why are you
Yeah.
looking in the shadow to see who is like make it more of a chase? Like that's why I wanted some more of like the
Yeah. I
97. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like it
Yeah.
it, it was just like he was waiting to die,
I
literally.
agree. I
I'm
agree. Yeah.
sitting here waiting. to die. Like, who does
I
that?
noted the same thing. I was just like, this is not it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, the kill is pretty cool with the, the harpoon and stuff like that that they're
Right.
doing. But I'm just like, who like just stares into the dark abyss after
No.
they hear something? And then furthermore, after they're harpooned, they turn around to see like maybe I can see who's doing this. Like,
Right.
get out of the
I'm
house.
just like, I was just like, that was not a good big reveal because that's the
It
first
wasn't.
kill of the movie. So it's
It
like it's a
wasn't.
huge
Yeah.
reveal. And
Yeah.
I was like, and the stepping into the like that was cool,
Yeah.
but that kill was not
Like the
it was not
reveal.
there for the first one.
Right. The reveal of the fisherman was pretty cool. Obviously, the lighting, the
Yeah.
music and stuff, that was cool. But the way they executed it, like obviously, for huge fans of the franchise and stuff, we're gonna, still be excited about the entirety of the movie and
Yeah.
but other
Of
people that
course.
are just being introduced to this franchise that are horror movie fans, they may be like, what? Like, you
Right.
know, they may have been offended by it.
Yeah, exactly. But we're just talking on a deeper level here,
Right,
okay?
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, we go deep into, we go beyond the horror.
Okay.
Um, okay, so yeah, so mentioning that and stuff, I did want to bring up parallels because we saw a lot of cool parallels. One that
Yeah.
excited me the most was when Ava and Tyler went to the Shivers the store, Helen's
Mhm.
family store. That excited me. I
Yeah.
was just like, oh, cool. What are we gonna see?
That was
Uh,
crazy.
yeah, and obviously we see that Tyler went through almost the exact same thing that Helen went through, from being chased to going up the elevator.
Yeah.
Being like
Yeah.
him trying to slice at her feet, to her getting up top there. The only difference was the fisherman wasn't waiting with under, like one of the mannequins, like in the
Yeah.
1997
Yeah.
version. He actually came up behind her, and obviously that's where she died. But I thought
Oh,
that was
Stevie.
great to add that in there. What did you think of that scene?
Yeah, I love that was dope. That was a really good scene. The clamshell from the parade
Yeah.
that Teddy was walking on, or I'm sorry, Danica was hiding under and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. Like that was good. Like yeah, it really was just played into our nostalgia.
Yeah.
Um, and I just also want to touch quickly on the foreshadowing. They did so many foreshadows in this film, from like Danica taking the blood bath or the bath bomb and the blood's in her bath, and that foreshadows, her husband's death, and then just so happy here, I just want to die. And then later that foreshadows her death. Like it was just a lot of like cool little foreshadowings that along the way
Yeah.
that was like, okay, all right, they're about to get it.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but
Probably the
yeah, I
big
didn't know that.
probably the biggest parallel. Obviously, we both mentioned that we like the Shivers store one, but the biggest one that like I was like, oh, this is so cool. Like I got so like freaking pumped about it was Teddy's death scene
Yeah,
and how it
yeah,
completely mirrored Casey and Scream. You
green,
know,
exactly.
it was amazing. Like I was just like, that's so cool that they
Completely.
yeah, I was like, it's so cool that they did that. Every moment from him, dragging himself, screaming out to his parents,
Yeah,
his parents in the background, and then finally,
uh,
I was just like,
all
now
you
that
see,
I was
all
like
you
that,
see is scream. It's like
right?
I'm paying homage to it.
Yeah, it was so cool. It was funny, like I was the only one in the theater, like getting so pumped about that. I'm looking around, everyone's just like looking at the big screen. I was like, y'all don't appreciate what's happening here.
Right. Like Brenda, I don't know what's going on.
Right. I am like, they are paying tribute here. Oh my, it's right here.
Yeah, like
But
yeah, I'm same. I saw that. I was just thinking bit by bit. I was like, okay, this is cool.
yeah,
I see the exact thing.
it was really cool.
That was a
Um,
great one.
so I mean, so okay, so obviously, me and you, being horror fans, seeing hundreds of horror movies, being able to, dissect them and everything. I know
Yeah,
there are some parts that you knew that were, you predicted and you thought it was
yeah.
predictable.
Oh
And
yeah.
there are some things that were definitely predictable in this movie. So what's one thing that you definitely called on? It was like, this is predictable.
I mean, yeah, like you said, there was quite a few things, and then all the foreshadowing too. But yeah, I called Stevie.
Mm,
I mean, not Stevie. Yeah, Stevie. I'm sorry. I call
Yeah,
Stevie being uh being the killer.
the killer.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. It was she was the odd person out.
Hmm.
She didn't have a parallel character from 97.
Yep.
And it just was like everything was just pointing that direction.
Yep.
Um, all the subtle comments, all that stuff.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
And this is like how psycho I am. So like literally, like even like before the movie was released, watching the trailer, seeing like, the movie posters and everything, um, she's always in the back. She was always in the
Yeah.
background, just
Yeah.
like in the corner, her little thing. And I was just like, okay, that means one of two things. Either she's gonna be the first to die, so they're not, highlighting her too much, or she's the killer.
Yeah.
Um, and then like
Exactly.
we discussed last episode when I was just like,
Last episode.
I hope that
Yeah.
not one of them is a killer. Like they put on the advertisement, one of them was the killer.
Yeah.
So
But
I called it too.
they did it in a good way. That
Yeah,
we were hoping they made it and they made it happen in a good way. And
yeah.
they wrote it in.
I feel that, yeah, I feel like her, the reasoning, I mean, obviously it's been done before and everything like that,
Right.
but
Right.
I thought it was good.
Yeah.
But I knew that she wasn't the only killer because if you
Right.
recall, Ava cut the fisherman, and she had after that she had like short sleeves on and everything like that. So I was just like, I didn't at first. I was just like, if it is Stevie, she's not working alone because
Exactly.
there's no bandage, there's nothing like that and stuff. And then the moment I knew, obviously, spoiler, obviously
Yeah.
that
Spoiler alert.
that Ray was involved was when he got on the boat, and just the way he was talking to her, it was very like suspicious. And
Yeah.
like I was just like, why is he talking to her like this? I'm just like, if she was like the killer, Ray, especially because they had that connection, I was like, he wouldn't be talking to her like this. And then when
Yeah.
he shot her, non-fatal shots, one in the shoulder, and you know what I
Right.
mean?
Exactly. I was like,
Yeah.
and then I had to look twice. I was like, wait a minute, was that in the head? But
Mm.
she went
Yeah.
this way, so I was like,
Yeah.
okay, it can be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was very interesting.
Yeah. It was yeah. The whole Ray, I want to, and I'm sure. Let's get into that real quick
Yeah. Let's
because
do it.
the reveal
Yep.
of Ray. Now we got the final reveal right when. Well, the final reveal was at the bar, but
Yeah.
the reveal was when Julie saw on the laptop and
Right.
made that connection.
Mm.
Um, so that just kind of confirmed my thoughts because I was like you said, that part when he was talking to her on the boat was a little crazy. I was like, huh, okay, can it be? I was like, did Ray, did you go south? Um, but what do you think about his reasoning? And it was very Freddie Nightmare on Elm Street-esque. I want to make them remember.
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
like, what did you feel about that? Oh, being the reason.
I'm I mean, I'm gonna keep it real because that's what we do here. Like
Right, please.
it didn't work for me. It fell
It
short.
really, yeah.
I was just like, what? Like, okay, I get it to an extent, right? Like he feels like what happened to him is being minimized and being erased from history. But does that warrant a killing spree? And
Right. To help
because
somebody like that.
yeah, especially like something that happened to you and what you went through, almost dying. Like I mean, it does. I don't know. And then, furthermore, their connection, which kind of bothered me with this, their connection to when at the end when Ava and Danica are talking, and Ava's like, "Well, that's why men need therapy." Um,
Right.
that didn't land well for me either. 'Cause I'm just
Right.
like if you think about it, all this is Stevie's fault. Stevie had the idea. She went to Ray for
Exactly.
help. So wouldn't it be that women need therapy? First of all, and then second of all, like I mean, they kind of like you said, foreshadow like this too, because throughout the entire movie, it's this thing about
Trauma.
trauma and like healing and
Yeah.
how trauma affects you and changes you. So I get that, but I don't know. I don't think it landed.
It didn't, yeah, it really didn't land. It didn't make that payoff for me.
Yeah,
It didn't make that Ray would turn that evil.
Mm-hmm.
because he wants people to remember something that, you know what I mean, that just
Happened 30
doesn't,
years ago.
it didn't. I know they had to find a reason to
Yeah.
make him, but I just felt like they should have made, I don't know, made the guy related to him or like,
Hmm.
somehow made
Yeah.
it more personal for him
Yeah.
than just making his story be remembered. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that. I feel that it's just Ray was such like a beloved character, and like obviously they
Right,
want that shock factor, but I just don't think they're gonna get the shock that they wanted. Like, you know what I
right.
mean? Like, I don't think
Yeah,
it's a good shock. And like making like Julie and Ray hate each other too. Like,
right.
obviously, they're at odds and stuff, but they end up getting married. And I can see like that, but I don't see them like hating each other because of
I
what they
don't see
went through.
them
That's gonna
hating.
keep them connected for life.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
The same way that it did with Carla and
yeah,
Julie, you know.
exactly.
So I feel, yeah, I kind of wish that they didn't go that route.
That's literally like having Dewey be the new Ghostface. It's like
Right,
something's got to really set a character like that off
right.
to turn and do those acts.
Yeah.
It
Which I
just,
mean,
yeah,
and I think that's a reason that they haven't done it yet in the Scream franchise, right? You know what I
right,
mean? That's
right.
literally like, yeah, I mean, Dewey too, but more so like Sydney. Like, and
Sydney,
she
yeah.
is, the main person. Like, that's like how her turn into Ghostface. You know how many pissed off people there were,
You're right.
how many
Oh my
like people
God,
would be pissed off about
that
that?
would
It's
be
kind of,
crazy.
yeah. But did that ruin the movie for you, or like, you know what I mean? Like, did that make you, because I know you said you left satisfied, but so did it leave a bad taste in your mouth a little bit?
It did a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I was talking about. Really, one of the main things I was talking about after the film. I was just saying I don't know about that. That was it was just bad. The intention, raised intention, raised reasoning just didn't sit well with me. And I wanted it to, but I was like, it just doesn't seem realistic enough for me as a payoff
Right.
because, like you said, Ray is a beloved character, and this is totally left of his character. So
Totally.
give me something that make him go totally left. You know what I
Exactly. Something
mean?
that makes them snap. And
Yes,
it can't just be trauma, because I mean that was what, 30 years ago almost.
that's what I'm saying. It's about to be 20, it's 27, 28 years ago.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be there, but
It's not someone,
not like that.
yeah, it's not someone like, Sydney Prescott in a franchise that's being stocked literally every single couple of years.
Right, right, exactly. Like,
But
well,
then again, it's like,
yeah, yep.
why would that make you want to literally put on the fisherman, embrace the fisherman persona, and then kill
Right. No
kids?
matter who's
So
asking you to
yeah.
help or not. I want to touch real quick. What did you feel about what they gave us from Julie when she meets Fisherman, like
Oh,
it's
okay,
Ray?
yeah.
So like I want to get into that for just a second because I was a little disappointed. I mean, I know we weren't gonna get a full out chase, this, that, and other, but I wanted to get a little something from
Yeah,
Julie
yeah.
instead of
So
it just standing there and saying, I know we love that line. We wanted you to say we did want you to say that line, but
so
it was not I wanted more.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So
Julie Survivor.
yeah. So honestly, I'm glad you brought this up, because I did want to touch on this too. That's what was missing for me too. Um, there were no, how I am about a good chase scene. There were
Yes.
no good chase scenes in this movie.
None, zero.
There was no one was being chased. It was so irritating. The biggest chase scene, which if you call it that, was when Ava was she in the bar yet, and like that's when
Yeah, the
she fought him
bar.
head on, or
Yeah,
I forgot where she was, but I mean, yeah, and so I agree with you, especially because it's Julie James, right? The final girl. I felt
yes.
like the way they used her in the film was phenomenal. I thought they did a
Yeah,
fantastic job of weaving her into the storyline
right.
and like her role in it. But I felt that just how personal it was to her once she found out it was Ray, like I
Mm,
felt like we could have gotten more. You know what I mean?
exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
she had some good quotes. You know, when she was talking to Ava, she said, "You can't run, you can't hide. Get them before they get you."
Yeah.
I was like,
Exactly.
okay. And
Yeah,
then obviously the main
some good
one,
advice.
yeah, obviously the main one when she, came face to face with the fisherman, the one that everybody's been waiting for.
What are you waiting
What are you
for?
waiting for? Yeah, she kind of started off, she's like, "What are you waiting for, huh?" And then she's like, "What are you waiting?" So her facial expressions when she said the last one, I was like, "There you go.
Yeah,
That's it."
yeah, that
But
was
yeah, I
it.
mean, I felt like I agree with you. I felt like it ended too soon. I felt like there needed to be some type of scuffle or some type of like
Something, just a
chase
little
between her and
fight,
Ray.
little fight.
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah, I just wanted to just want to touch on that, y'all, because we love our chase scenes, we love a little fight. Julie James, if you know the franchise, she can put up a fight. So I wanted to just see a little 1-2, but we may get more of that in the future. So
Maybe.
let's talk about our last thing, what happened, and get into that.
Yes, yes. Um, so yeah, like last episode, we were trying to, talk about, Danny posed the question, there's speculation about, Miss Brandy coming on,
Hey,
how she would be in the movie and everything. I think I brought up something about her watching the news, which as we see in the post credits, she is. She's watched the news. She sees everything that transpired in Southport
yeah,
between Ray and
crazy.
Julie and everyone else, that Ray was the actual killer. And I mean, it's not revealed whether that was her husband or her boyfriend that was there,
Perfect.
but he was there, which kind of
Yeah,
like gave me like a little like Gail, like
it
screen
was, right?
sex, right, with her
It really
boyfriend.
was.
That
It's
gave me
like
that a
she
little
moved
bit.
on with her life and stuff.
Yeah. But then, yep, we see her there, and then who shows up, Danny?
Julie James, hey, what's going on? It's back. It happened. We're and she dragging her ass into it too. She said, "You came up here dragging me into this." Honestly, I thought she was gonna have that reaction, but she
No,
did.
no, Danny, you were so funny because I thought the same thing. I thought what she said was very Carla, like you know what I
Right,
mean. She was
exactly.
right. She was like, "Who we effing up?" But at the same time, I thought she was gonna be like, "Are you bringing me up in this for what?"
She said it like twice her line. She said that everybody's trying to kill this woman. Oh, like people just keep trying to kill this
Oh
girl.
my god!
Oh my
Oh my god!
God.
That was perfect. It was like the perfect ending. I
It
was
was great.
and it's funny because obviously I knew there was a post credit because a scene because I watched an interview with Jennifer Love Hewitt and she was like, just stay, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
And we tend to stay anyway because you never know, so we stay a
you
little bit,
never know.
me and you and stuff.
Yeah.
But and I saw everybody leaving, I was like, don't leave. I was trying to warn,
Yeah.
don't leave, but I was like, whatever, y'all miss it.
Yeah. There were some people that did their homework in my theater. Some people
Yeah,
stayed. I was like, oh, okay, y'all know. And
yep,
so,
yep,
but it was such a good credit scene, obviously alluding to some future segments. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, they do a great job because with things like this, you can ruin a franchise.
yes,
So I think I
yes,
hope they just do it nice and, true to everyone's character, makes
yeah.
sense.
Mm-hmm.
We'll let this Ray reason slide, but it was not a good reason
Mm-mm.
to give us all that.
It wasn't.
And then we
And
learned that Stevie's alive still,
yeah,
obviously,
which we figured. I
which we
mean,
figure.
they honestly could have just let Stevie just be the killer. Like,
Yeah,
that would have been better.
honestly, they could have just
And
did
then,
that.
I mean, obviously we would have been devastated and, whatever, but we'd have got over it and then just had Ray die or something. You know what I mean? That I feel like
Yeah,
that
we
would have
would
been
have killed
better
Ray.
than
Right.
having his memory of him turning psycho because
That
of
was crazy.
trauma. And
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like I
it
get
was
it,
kind of it
but
was kind of an interesting thing. I don't know. I don't know, and I read some other articles and stuff about, them taking a stab at like toxic masculinity and stuff like that, and they trying to put it all in Ray's like hands of being the one that, kind of drove force this, making it more like a mental message. And I'm like, eh, it's just not landing, y'all. It's not
Yeah,
it's not
no,
landing. I think it's a message that kind of construed a franchise.
right.
Um,
Well,
just the execution of this part
yeah.
specifically.
And I mean, going back to like what I said initially, you can tell there's undertones of that because, of Ava's quote, that's why men
Yeah,
need therapy. And it's just like,
right. That's what I'm
okay,
just like.
like, should we have really honed in on that? And it's just like, there's so many holes involved
Yeah,
with that. And then if you're gonna go that route, like make it land well, like,
right.
execute it properly. And I just don't think they did that at
Yeah,
all.
likewise.
You know,
Likewise.
but
But
like you
we
were
did enjoy
saying,
the film. Yeah,
if they, get another, if we get another movie out of this, like it needs to make sense. I mean, I don't even know like why. I mean, because if you look, for those viewers that haven't seen it, Julie whips out a picture of her
yeah,
and Carla, and then there's
yeah.
an X on Carla, so
Excellent
obviously
Carlos Faye.
somebody is has
Connected to
animosity,
Carla
yeah,
somehow.
connected or has animosity towards her, something. So maybe we're gonna go that route
Yeah,
more. You know what I mean? Like, there is maybe somebody that was I don't know, because if they try to go back to like the original fisherman, Ben Willis and everything, is like what it would
it's
have to be
they're
like his
beating a
great
dead horse.
grandson or
But
something like that.
and who's out? Yeah, who's around right now? Like, that's
It would have to
what.
be
Yeah, I was
a
thinking.
grandson or something, right?
Yeah, I'm still right. Well, 27 years. Yeah, they could definitely be a grandson, but it's like, but I mean, yeah, I don't know. Someone, it's interesting. They can go different routes, but I
Yeah,
just hope it makes sense.
right,
But
exactly.
someone definitely that's holding a grudge against Carla specifically.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
I'm like,
but it's connected to Julie because she was still in that picture also. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like, so
Right.
there's some type of tie there.
And you
Um,
say, let's just go. I did. I would kept thinking about, what happened in the Bahamas and stuff. And there was just like, and that joke. He said, "Why don't we just go to, the Bahamas?" And Ray was like, "I would suggest not
yeah,
doing
he was like, yeah, don't do that.
that."
That was funny.
But yeah, something, Carla, something you did out there, it's coming back to haunt you.
And then it's like if it's connected to her, how are they going to incorporate Stevie? You know what I mean? Like,
That's what
and
I'm
what's
like.
the
Yeah,
purpose of her still being alive at that point?
it's gonna
So
be so interesting. Different,
yeah, so
different
I'm just
things.
like, just fix these things that happen in this movie, and then make the
It
next
will
one
be
make
good.
sense, and we'll be golden. We'll be golden. Any lasting comments, Danny, about the film?
Yeah, we're always gonna be, you know, keep it 100. We like to break things down. We like to talk about. Doesn't take away the fact I love this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great refresher to bring us back after so long. It did not let me down. Like I said, I was satisfied. Had my little critiques and little points, as always. But yeah, I'm excited for what the franchise has in the future. I love that they gave us Carla. I'm telling you, it was funny. It was like it was a lot of applause and cheer when it was like
Yep. Yeah, I was like,
once
yeah, yeah.
once that
I was too.
pan came over, that slow pan, we said, oh yeah, it was great. Yeah, Julie, Jennifer Love Hewitt, oh my God, it was so great seeing her,
Yeah.
and and everybody just looked beautiful. Everybody just aging so lovely. But yeah, definitely go check it out if you haven't yet. Please go check this out. Like I said, all the millennial horror fans out there, and we were living our best life. So
Yeah,
get
I
it.
agree. I enjoyed the movie a lot, and obviously, there's little things here and there and stuff that just didn't work out, which we discussed. But again, like Danny said, that doesn't take from the fact that we love this franchise, we love what it has done in the past, and just kind of reintroducing it to the viewers and the people that are obsessed with the franchise. I think they did a good job at that. I guess let's find out what we rate it, right? So I would rate the movie, honestly, I would rate it a B. Because I enjoyed it. You know, it was very nostalgic. I love the characters in it. But a huge part of it was the whole Ray of it all.
Yeah,
And the even the Sarah Michelle Gellar of it all. That part,
yeah,
half of that didn't
yeah,
work out for me.
yeah.
And some of the kills were just like subpar for me.
Hmm.
Um, so I mean, that's why I gave it a B.
Yeah. I honestly agree. I was gonna say B plus B. I mean, it's the same thing that B stage because it's for the exact reasons you said. I don't even have to go into it. I echo exactly what you said. Kudos to the new cast that's joining this franchise. Y'all
Yeah,
held it down. Tyreek, you were my favorite. But yeah, it's just like overall, you know, it was a lot of different things that happened, but exactly the sentiment you just said.
yeah. Um, and I think Rotten Tomatoes gave it what, a 46,
Yeah.
which is aligned with the original, the 1997 version. I think the 1997 version got like a 45 or something like that. There, it's in the same range. It's like the upper
Hmm.
40s. It's like between one of them and the upper 40s. So I
Got
mean, um, we'll see. As you can see, we got our shirts on. We're doing the thing. We're doing it.
it.
We showed up in the
Let's
theater in
go.
style.
What are you waiting for?
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us on our episode that we hold near and dear to our heart. I know what you did last summer, the new release. Thank you for
Yes.
joining us on this particular scarisode. We hope that you have seen it already. If you have not, please check it out. Especially if you love the franchise. Even if you're new to the whole franchise, like check it out because you know that will prompt you to check out the 1997 version, the 1998 version, and that will not disappoint, guaranteed.
Not at all.
All
Not at
right,
all.
Danny.
Yeah, I would just go check it out. Like I said, this one is not really one that and that's another reason why I give it a B. Not really one I can plug in and watch over and over again like the first two. You know what I mean? So it's just but it's great. Y'all will love it. Go check it out for sure.
I agree. All right, Danny, where can they find you?
You can find me everywhere at I am Danny Royce. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Do it, do it, do it, do it. You guys can find me at Alpha Boy in the I1. Thanks again, everybody. Again, go check out the movie and definitely go check out the 1997, 1999 version. I know you that summer. I still know you that summer.
Hey,
We'll
see
see you
y'all
guys next time.
later.